Alright, what's crack a lacking? I'm Scotty. You're not. As you can tell, I have a cold. But I'm not letting that stop me. No. I'm gonna get this done. Damn it. Did all the Resident Evil movies? Yeah, World War Z. Now, a movie I have wanted to check out for a while. This is not my first foray into Italian horror by any means. I covered Dario Argento's works like Suspiria and Profondo Rosso or Deep Red. I've looked at Michele Salvi's Cemetery Man. And I've looked at Fulci before with The Beyond, which I thought was okay. And now we're talking about the 1979 film Zombie, or Zombie 2, pardon. So, it's Zombie 2, but you didn't talk about Zombie 1. Yes, I did. There is no actual Zombie 1, if you're wondering. But I did talk about Zombie 1. But you just said, I know, there is no Zombie 1. But I talked about Zombie 1. But you just, I know. There is no such movie called Zombie with an I. That is the first film before Zombie 2. Because this was made as a direct sequel to George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. Yes. Which in Italia is called Zombie with an I. So they created a sequel called Zombie 2 with an I. And there's more than that. There are sequels to this that I don't think trying to see if I can find information on it. Go to the top again. So it was released as Zombie with an IE, regular zombie in the United States, and Zombie Flesh Eaters in the United Kingdom and Australia. I muted you. Zombie film series. Okay, so the Italian series, we got the Zombie, which is Dawn of the Dead, and there's Zombie 2, Zombie 3. There's more than this. There's more. In Britain, they're all called Zombie Flesh Eaters. And for that, you got Zombie Flesh Eaters. There's the Zombie 2 or Zombie. Zombie Flesh Eaters 2, which is Zombie 3. And then there's a Zombie Flesh Eaters 3, Italian title Oltre la Morte, aka After Death. Just from Claudio Fragasso, who did Troll 2. So, Zombie 4, After Death. Then, there's a German series which just has Dawn of the Dead, Zombie 2 Das letzte Kapital, which is Day of the Dead, And then Zombie 3, which is Zombie 3. Okay? In the Thai series, though, we get Zombie Flesh Eaters, which is Zombie 2, or Zombie. Zombie Flesh Eaters, which is Zombie 3. Zombie Flesh Eaters 3, which is the After Death. And Zombie Flesh Eaters 4, Killing Barts. Zombie 5, Killing Barts. And then the Australian version of the series used Roman numerals and is composed of sequels only. Most are just retitled Italian films. However, one exclusive installment was produced, Zombie 8, Urban Decay in 2020. Series starts off with Zombie 4, Bacterion. Original title, Panic, from 1982. Zombie 5, Vengeance. Original title, Vengeance of the Zombies. Spanish horror film from 1972. So wait. In this series, you have Zombie 4, Bacterion, which is a movie that came out in 1982. And then they released Zombie 5, Vengeance, which is a movie that came out in 1972. Zombie 6, Mirage, is from 1973, whatever. 1981, Dawn of the Mummy is its film. Zombie 7, Last Rites, from 1975, original title, Night of the Seagulls. And then we have Zombie 8, Urban Decay, the American series. This is where it was named Zombie, which is Zombie 2, or this movie. Zombie 3, Zombie 4, After Death, Zombie 5, Killing Barts. So we've named them. In 1990, several unrelated titles were released as zombie sequels by TZ Video, aka Eda Entertainment. As well as follows: Zombie, 1979, Zombie 2, 1988, which is Zombie 3. Zombie 3, Return of the Zombies, which is original Spanish film, aka The Hanging Woman, which is from 1973, which is before the first Zombie. Zombie 4, A Version of One of the Living Dead, also from 1973. Zombie 5, Revenge in the House of Usher, which is Revenge in the House of the Usher is the movie, which is from 1982. Zombie 6, Monster Hunter, which is original title was Absurd from 1981. And Zombie 7, Anthropophagus is the original turn. I'm not going to go through, there's a bunch of other stuff. But yeah. This film. I need one more nose blow, please. This film is good. I liked it. Of course, directed by Lucio Fulci. I watched the Joe Bob Briggs version. The Joe Bob version on AMC Plus and Shudder. I watched that. Which was like a late night talk show version of the show, which was weird. But he had some guests for the part I watched it. The main actor of this movie, Ian McCulloch, Scottish actor. The professional wrestler and the very nice, very evil Danhausen. Yes, he was there. He was talking about his monies. Yes. He also brought up CM Punk. Well, he made it. Buy him lots of comic books. Yes. He was very nice and very evil. Yes. He put a curse on the audience. Yes. Weird enough, I can sound more like him when I have a cold. And the original film's composer, Fabio Frizzi, was the in-house band. So, yeah, and he talked to him for a little bit. You can also find it on there without Joe Bob under the name Zombie Flesh Eaters. It's also on Tubi as Zombie. So, if you want to watch different versions there, sure. Yeah. The movie's 91 minutes long, but it felt longer because of the Joe Bob interruptions. Plus, also ads, which when I watched Spookaz, there was no ads. It was just the Joe Bob stuff it would cut to. This irked me this time because, like, it would show as if it's gonna go to Joe Bob, but then it would cut to an ad. I'm like, fuck you, Swiffer. But yeah. And I like this opening scene. It's just the Coast Guard guys, or Harbor Patrolman, whatever it says, finds this boat. It's abandoned, and there's a zombie on there, and they shoot the zombie in the head. Nice shot. Yeah. Maybe that's just different. No, the other one is the opener is the zombie gets shot in the head, but here they shoot the zombie and it falls overboard into the sea. I think it's about 5 underwater. So, yeah. Is this the same one that fights the shark later? Because that's pretty cool. But yeah. One of the patrolmen is killed and is taken to the morgue. And then we meet Ann Bowles, who's played by Tisa Farrow, Mia Farrow's sister, who only had an acting career for about 10 years. And no offense to the woman, but I can tell why she stopped. She's not very good in this movie. There are times where she's talking, I'm just like, that's the best take they could get. Seriously, I know that they dubbed a lot of stuff too, but sure. And she's trying to find the boat belonged to her father. She's trying to find him. Do they ever find him? Is this professor dude that we meet her father? Because I don't think it's ever really addressed. But a British journalist named Peter West, played by Ian McCulloch, is investigating the story. So I like this, how they're both investigating the boat, and there's like a security guard, so they pretend they're making out on the boat. It's a way to sort of throw them off. But they're investigating this. It's pretty cool. But yeah. So they decide to go to Tool, which is in St. Lucia and the Virgin Islands, where in this movie I believe they speak Spanish. They do not speak Spanish. I don't know. Or St. Thomas, excuse me. What language? I don't want to know what language Jesus spoke, but it's how is spoken in St. Thomas. English. You also hear French, Creole, and Spanish. So I guess Spanish is part of it. I guess, but they just, yes, he senor. I'm just like, okay. According to Joe Bob, they don't speak Spanish there, so I don't know. I will say, maybe because it's a talk show host, he didn't ramble as much as he usually did. But, you know. So, in order to reach Matul, they find two guides, Brian Hull and his girlfriend Susan Barrett, to get there. And, but then we cut to Matul, British doctor David Menard, who may or may not be Anne's father, different last names, so I don't know, and his wife are researching this zombie phenomenon on the island on Matul. His wife wants to leave, but he is all about his research and wants to stay. Because, of course, he's a brilliant scientist. I guess. A zombie does take her out. She has a pretty good moment. Again, with Italian horror, it kind of takes you out when it's done. But there's a pretty good moment where she, like, goes off on him. We just see her in the shower. And she's attacked by a zombie. in a scene in which the zombie takes her face, pushes her eye onto a piece of wood that's poking out. And I will say, it does look kind of fake, but the effect is not terrible. It does look fake. What I do want to say that the blood in this movie is, a lot of foreign movies, like a lot of Italian horror, the blood is like super red. Not that much in this one. Yeah. So once they get close to Matul, they decide we're gonna jump in the water and we're gonna go around. And for some reason, this it's nice to see boobs in a movie, but this makes no sense. So the girlfriend, right, Barrett, your girlfriend Susan, she decides she's gonna jump in the water. She's gonna dive around. So she's gonna put a wetsuit on, right? No, she's gonna strip down to her underwear. Just her underwear, tits out, put on the breathing apparatus, jump in the water so we can see her swim around and boobs hanging down and everything. That is not how you scuba dive. Again, appreciate the tits. That's not how it works, and no one would be allowed to scuba dive like that. But Fulci wanted tits in his movie, so there. But it makes no sense at all. And this is where we get the zombie versus shark action, which is pretty cool. But she gets back to the boat after having an encounter with the zombie and all that. She still tits out. Yep. Meanwhile, Menard has found one of his colleagues, Fritz, has died of the zombie infection, and then tells the rest of the staff to shoot the dead bodies in the head, so they do. Right? And they like dig a grave, they're throwing bodies in there, right? Eventually, a signal flare is thrown up, and he meets the group from the boat, which, why did they set up a flare? I guess. So, they end up, he sends him back to the mansion to get his wife, where they find that she's being eaten by zombies, which they say she hasn't come back as a zombie, I don't think. They fight off against the zombies and escape in a jeep, with West suffering an ankle injury when the vehicle, after slamming into a zombie, veers off the road. They rest in a jungle clearing, but they've stumbled upon a conquistador era graveyard where the zombies just start to rise for no reason. Though we do find out in this reason that it is voodoo that makes the zombies rise, which, hey, it's a more believable reason than something fell from space and sent a signal or something like that. Yeah, and then Anne is killed when the sorceress rise, bites out her throat, which is a nice effect. So as the corpses begin to rise, the group leaves and goes to the local hospital where Menard explains that the dead are rising as a result of voodoo. That's where we find out. The voodoo. The hospital is attacked by zombies, a lot of zombies. And Menard is killed by the reanimated Fritz. So as the zombies try to enter, those being treated for infection inside the hospital also reanimate. They're screwed. So several hospital staff is killed, and as the dead begin to breach the door, Bowles, West, and Hall set the building on fire. Nice little effect there with the fire. But Hall dies of his infection, and they lock his body in a cabin. Oh, they're at sea now, as evidence of what happened. But as they get to New York, the radio broadcast reports that the city is under attack from zombies, and you see, which is like one of the DVD covers of this is zombies on a bridge. And it's like, well, I'm watching this and I'm going, where's that scene? It's here. You know. Also, there is, the cover is that one zombie going, right? And that's only one scene. Kind of like The Devil Inside, where's that nun? But that nun is only in one little scene. She's not important to the plot. Kind of like that, but It's iconic, I guess. But it's more important than whatever the fuck that is supposed to be. Right? Where's that in this movie? Where's that in Dawn of the Dead? I don't remember that. Like, at all. But yeah. And the movie ends. Hey, I'll give it a pretty good. I liked it. It's a little, late 70s. Still a decent time, I guess. You got like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Halloween and all that. But yeah, it's good. It's good. So, what are your thoughts on Zombie? When it comes to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.